Welcome to Sky Sports coverage of the Carnegie Rugby League Challenge Cup. We are at the Big Fellas Stadium for the fourth round clash between Featherstone Rovers of the Championship and Super League's Castleford Tigers. Can the Rovers of 2012 emulate the Featherstone Legends of 1983? That's the side that went to Wembley and won when underdogs. That 1983 side, they're here today providing inspiration for Darryl Powell's men. Standing between them and the fifth round draw are Ian Millward's Castleford Tigers. Favourites today, but wary of their near neighbours. Time now to have a look at how both sides line up. And first, the home team, the Featherstone Rovers. They have plenty of Super League experience in their 17. At fullback, former Saints Helens man Ian Hardman, and on the wings, Samoan international Tangi Ropati and Tom Saxton. Incidentally, the only man of 34 on the field today to have won the Challenge Cup, that back in 2005 with Hull FC. In the halves, they've got Kyle Briggs and Liam Finn. Up front for Featherstone Rovers, their captain Stuart Dickens, 15 years at the club and closing in on the club record of 440 appearances. He's in the front row beside Ben Kay and James Lockwood. The back of the scrum is Matty Dale, Tim Spears and Johnny Hepworth, a former Castleford Tiger himself. And on the bench, all have had at least some degree of Super League experience. Michael Haley, Dom Maloney, Andy Kane and John Gratian. They're coached by a man who won the Challenge Cup as a player in '99 with Leeds and lost it as a coach in 2003 with the same side. He will be hoping for better luck today. For the Castleford Tigers, well, they're able to welcome back many of their strike players. Fullback Richard Owen. On the wing, they've got pace and they've got try-scoring ability, and Nick Youngquest and Josh Griffin. Two very physical centres, Brett Ferries and Kirk Dixon. In the halves, both coming back into the side, man of steel, Rangi Chase. The last time he scored for the Castleford Tigers was a Challenge Cup semi-final last year. He's beside Danny Orr. In the pack for Castleford Tigers, Darrell Clark comes back at hooker. He got Johnny Walker and Nathan Massey either side of him at scrum time. Oliver Holmes and Steve Snitch with Jake Emmett make up the pack. And on the bench, a very welcome sight will be the man in the number 10 jersey, returning after just over a year out with a very bad injury. It's Craig Hubie. He's joined by Stuart Jones, Grant Millington and Ryan McGoldrick. They are coached by two-time Challenge Cup winner Ian Millward. Well, ever since this draw was made, this town has been looking forward to welcoming their Castleford Tigers neighbours, arch rivals as ever. Time to go to the commentary team now of Barry McDermott, Terry O'Connor and firstly Rod Studd.
Thanks, Brian. Our referee is Ben Thaler. There are just 4 miles between Featherstone and Castleford, which makes it one of the geographically closest rivalries in rugby league and certainly one of the fiercest too. It's 5 years since these two teams last locked horns. They've been waiting 5 long years for the chance to go toe-to-toe with each other. Alongside me, two guys who've won the Challenge Cup, Barry McDermott and Terry O'Connor, as Nick Youngquest makes the first break for the Castleford Tigers. Barry, have Featherstone got any chance here?
Well, that's a great start by the Castleford Tigers, and if Featherstone wants to stay in this game, they'll need to control the controllables. Darryl Powell and Ryan Sheridan, both coaches for the Featherstone club, both seeing Challenge Cup victories with that 99 Leeds London Broncos game, but it's a big task and we're in for a fantastic treat today.
Well, good start from Castleford and showing plenty of determination to move the ball around and chance their arm. Danny Orr takes the tackle. They get safely to the end of their first set of 6. Now, what can Rangi Chase produce here from his box of tricks? It's a floated high hanging ball and should be mopped up, and is mopped up, knocked on anyway by Cass. Featherstone hang on, Terry.
Yeah, you're right, Rod. It was a knock on the last play from Brett Ferris. The ball goes forward. Well, that was a nervous start. You can see the ball comes forward, but that was a nervous start from this Featherstone side on the first play, letting Castleford make a break, but they conceded 60 points last week. They need to be better defensively and not let Castleford dictate the speed of game.
Yeah, you're right. They're hammered here on this very ground. 60 points to 40 by Sheffield a week ago, a match that Darryl Powell, the coach, described as ridiculous. 5 of Sheffield's tries came from interceptions. It was an awful performance for Darryl Powell and his side. He'd never seen the like of it since he took over here at the Big Fellas Stadium. He's in his 4th season now with the Rovers. Liam Finn will put boot to ball for the first time this afternoon for Fev. And Richard Owen will collect. He sat out training yesterday, Richard Owen, with a groin strain, but pass fit to play.
Liam Finn is such an important player for Featherstone. He's there, put the kick in and made the tackle. Quite interesting that Castleford, having looked at Featherstone's games and studied their form, they'll have looked at Liam Finn and said, don't give him time and space. As soon as he collected that ball, about 10 metres away from his own line, he had 2 defenders in front of him. And you see him again doing some defensive work. They're going to give a lot of traffic towards him.
Yeah, they'll be keeping their eye very close on Liam Finn. He is the string puller for Featherstone Rovers. He was man of the match in the Championship Grand Final last year when Rovers sank Sheffield to win the second tier of Rugby League. Cass are already flexing their Super League muscles. Here is Chase, just dropping a simple little ball off inside, and busting through is Johnny Walker. The break and the pass from Rangi Chase threatened more than what they've got, and what they have got will be a scrum. Castleford Tigers.
Well, again, second set of 6 from Johnny Walker, who busts through from this ball from Rangi Chase. You can see that he is a creator, and people looking at what he does. Johnny Walker, just a sloppy pass, looking to set his teammate through, but again, worrying signs for Daryl Powell. His team are not competing, they're falling off tackles, and they're just presenting themselves, and there's too many opportunities for Castleford.
And if they keep giving Chase time with the ball in his hands, there's only one likely outcome, and that is tries, and plenty of them to Castleford Tigers. And here is Chase again, officially the most creative man in Super League, going himself. He's top of the Super League assist list with 19, which is 6 more than anyone else. Sam Tompkins second, but top of that chart in the last 2 years as well. You cannot give Chase that time and space, because he'll just make you pay and pay again.
He just bamboozles the opposition. He hasn't got a clue what he's going to do.
Daryl Clark was at dummy half. Danny Orr gets his hands on the football. Nathan Massey comes in to set up a position just 5 or 6 metres from that Featherstone line. Again, it's Chase with his hands on the ball, threatening danger and threatening every time he gets the football. This time he's marshalled by 3 Featherstone Rovers players. And slow to get up there, Rangi Chase. And trying to pinch one from dummy half. It's Daryl Clark, and Ben Thaler is happy to award the try, and Daryl Clark, one of the brightest young prospects in Super League, has got the first try for the Castleford Tigers. They threatened it from minute 1, and now Daryl Clark, the 19-year-old, has put Cass in front.
Well, put this try down to Rangi Chase, and how much time and space he has is the threat that he poses the Featherstone defenders. Nobody wants to jump out, nobody wants to commit to one of those dummies, and Daryl Clark, who's one of the most exciting prospects at number 9 in British Super League. A nice show and go. You're being overcritical. You said the Featherstone defenders are a little bit too tall for goal line defence, but might just have been a 6 inches or so short on that ball. Looked it.
Let's have a look, because Ben Thaler could not have been better placed to award a try. And did any part of the ball touch any part of the line?
Well, I'm not so sure he grounded that.
But Ben Thaler is in an excellent position, so...
Well, Kirk Dixon will surely add the extras. Daryl Clark scoring first and asking questions later. 6-0 Castleford Tigers. Just the start they wanted, because you got the feeling before the match started, Barry and Terry, that Featherstone really needed to score first and get Cass under pressure. It hasn't worked out like that.
They needed to start, they needed to play well. Well, here's Daryl Clark going for the line. Is he short? Does he ground it on the line? Well, the referee Ben Thaler says yes, that is a try. But the first time that Featherstone had the ball, they only made 11 metres. They've got to earn the right to play. They can't show too much respect to Castleford, and I think they're doing that. They're standing off the big fellas when they're running, and they're standing off Rangi Chase.
Just be aware that Featherstone are playing down the slope. It doesn't look like much of a slope on your TV picture, but it's a good couple of yards, this slope. So Featherstone moving from left to right on your screen in white, and going down quite a substantial incline in this first half.
Well, this is great reactions from Featherstone. 2 big shots, plenty of collision, plenty of control. And they know if they need to stay in this game, or they want to stay in this game, they'll have to control the speed of the play of the ball from Castleford. Another great defensive effort.
Now that is exactly what you want. Johnny Hepworth getting into Rangi Chase.
That's exactly what they're going to do with Chase. Close down the space, close down the opportunities. This is a great defensive set, this from Featherstone.
You've just got to get into him. You've got to force him to play early and look to pass that ball. Therefore, he made mistakes.
Haven't made any yardage, really. Castleford, the Super League side, in that set of 6. Danny Orr, though, has punted it into Featherstone territory, and, well, Rapati didn't know where it was for a moment. In the end, untangled himself, Tanguy, and managed to move forward a couple of metres. Haven't really threatened anything yet.
Sorry, Rod, it's a bit of a shame, because if Tanguy Rapati can either catch that ball on the full or get it slightly earlier, they take the ball on tackle 1 on the halfway line instead of just getting over there. But obviously the rugby league bobbling about bobbling about, if you're not careful, can make you look stupid.
That was Kirk Dixon. Tommy Saxton taking the ball forward for Featherstone. Hartman coming into the line. He's their top scorer this season with 13 tries. And this is the first time that Featherstone have managed to get into Castleford territory, and we're in the 8th minute of the match. There's a little chip ahead from Liam Finn. Bounces and bobbles just in the inlet goal area, and they had to watch that very carefully, but they will get the 20-metre restart.
Well, just too much on this kick from Liam Finn, but it was a clever play, split the pitch, but ball bounces straight in the middle of the park. Unfortunately, they don't get the ball, but they are starting to look a confident side. They're getting into the speed of this game.
They finally got into it. Featherstone have lost to Super League opposition in the Cup for the last 5 seasons. Last season demolished by St Helens 70 points to 0, and a couple of defeats by Warrington the previous 2 years, and a couple before that to the Catland Dragons. So they've met some pretty tough opposition the last 5 years in the Cup. Cass, with 3 teams below them currently in Super League, more ripe for an upset perhaps, but not at the moment, as Chase prods one forward and Ian Hardman collects, but well, being pursued by 4 Castleford Tigers, and Youngquest does the job with 3 of his teammates.
Well, Castleford happy to get into the corner on the 4th play, turning Featherstone around and challenging them to bring the ball away out of free.
Well, that's the difference between the 2 kicking games. Liam Finn trying to put it up. That's a fantastic ball.
It is, and Featherstone, well, managed to use the width on that far side of the field. It's the first time we've seen anything expansive from Featherstone, and Greg Worthington was the recipient out on that far side. There's Johnny Hepworth, one of 5 ex-Castleford Tigers in this Featherstone lineup. Here's Hepworth. The spell playing their rugby union, but back in the 13-a-side code, and back here with Featherstone Rovers. That'll drift behind for another 20-metre restart.
Again, the point I was going to make here, the quality of the 2 kicking games. Both Briggs and Finn need to keep the ball on the island, try to build a little bit of pressure, just like Castleford did in their last kick.
Do you know, but I don't think that Featherstone will mind kicking that ball dead. At least they're defending up the right end of the park.
Johnny! Well done.
This is Owen. Terrible spell out with a horrific broken leg. Only came back at the beginning of last season. And we will see Craig Hooby coming back for Castleford Tigers today after almost a year out with an awful knee injury picked up around Easter last year. So it'll be good to see the big man for Castleford Tigers returning to the fray as Clark offloads to Rangi Chase once more. This guy's doing a lot of damage, Nathan Massey. Really ploughing a furrow up the middle of that Featherstone Rovers defence. Chase again. He has been the string puller in chief so far. He's tormented Castleford in this first 10 minutes or so. Only one try to show for it though for Castleford as Orr puts the ball into the air. That's blown back on the breeze, and Youngquest won't get there. And maybe a break here for Rapati. And Rapati away down this near side touchline. Danny Orr may catch him, but surely won't hold him off. Rapati has put Featherstone back in this cup tie with a wonderful opportunist try for the championship underdogs.
Well, that will lift the spirits of Rapati and his Featherstone teammates. That was a fantastic effort from the side. They were defending their own line. They've been under pressure right from the kick-off. And to come up with a score like that, 90 yards, Rapati has to run. But you've got to credit Featherstone's defence here. Look at that kick from Danny Orr. He was put under pressure. The kick goes behind his teammates. Brett Ferris knocks the ball back into Carl Brick's hands. And then it comes down to a foot race between Rapati and Danny Orr. Danny Orr has him on the angle, but Rapati steps off his right to go in for the opening try for Featherstone. And surely this will give them a lift that they need. Rapati determined to make the try line, get them back onto a level playing field, and a good finish from the Samoan.
It's his 7th try of the season. Scored in 7 of Featherstone's 10 games this season. He was like a runaway trot going downhill here at the Big Fella Stadium, and even though Danny Orr got to him, he never felt that he had a chance of stopping the runaway Rapati. Now, Liam Finn. When he's good on his goal kicking, he's very good. When he's bad, he's awful. We've seen some days in the Championship last year when he couldn't kick him from in front of the posts, and he shaves the post this time. And Castleford hang on to their lead, but only 6-4.
Well, Featherstone's transition from defending their own goal line to dealing with this threat. Brett Ferris knocks this ball, that's backwards. Maybe a slight question mark on Kyle Briggs, but definitely Rapati doesn't stop to wait and ask. That's a terrific reply from Featherstone, and if they can keep within touching distance of Castleford, that will get the nerves of Castleford Tigers and help with the growth in confidence of Featherstone Rovers.
No doubt about it, no question about that. To be fair, Castleford had bossed the first dozen minutes, but that try on the break by Rapati has changed the whole face of this cup tie. Suddenly, there might be a few maggots of doubt growing in the minds of Castleford Tigers. Comfortably in charge at 6-0 on all the stats, and suddenly Featherstone with Hepworth. Johnny Hepworth has gone through a huge hole in the Castleford defence, and he's still going. Who's with him? Not anybody that he could find to offload to as Darrell Clark knocks him down. Well, that's a very, very slow play the ball, because Darrell Clark had held him down, and Ben Thaler says, go for 10, son, go and have a sit down for 10 minutes. Featherstone 13 against 12, and suddenly the tide has turned.
Well, you can see the spirits are now lifted, can't you? Johnny Hepworth going at the line with the ball in two hands. He was trying to shake that man, Darrell Clark, off to afford the ball inside. It wasn't there. He took the tackle, gains the penalty.
Well, they're not interested in kicking it. They're looking for more than 2 points. They want 4 or possibly 6. It was a professional foul, no question about it, from Darrell Clark. He knew the defence was shot to bits after Hepworth's break, and he lay on too long. Can Rovers make them pay here? Kyle Briggs steps inside. That looked a trifle high. It is high, says Ben Thaler. Another penalty. Well, the panic button is being pressed very firmly by Castleford here. That was high, no question. Steve Snitch, the offender, and another penalty, 2 back-to-back here for Rovers, and Liam Finn just drops that one off. They know they've got another set of 6 coming here from no more than 2 metres from the line. Ben Kane, he's only a matter of inches short of that Castleford line. Remember, this could put Featherstone in front. Briggs back to Finn. It's a slow pass which took a lot of time to get to the halfback, but still they're moving with Hepworth, and Hepworth has got it wide. Well, Tom Saxton steps inside, goes round 1, goes round 2, but he's running into a cul-de-sac here, you feel. Offloads though to Briggs. Briggs can't get away from Ferris. Yes, he can. Briggs still going. He scored. Kyle Briggs has scored, or has he? Ben Thaler wants to see if the ball has been fumbled in the act of scoring. You think it might have been Terry?
This is a desperate shame. Kyle Briggs, with wonderful footwork, I think puts the ball down on the foot of the Castleford defender. You can normally tell with the reaction. It's Brett Ferris. He puts it down. There is it. Does he keep control of it? Oh, now then. Is that fingertip control? What do you reckon, gents? I'm going to go for yes.
Do you know what? He'd be very unlucky. Does he lose the ball there? Is the separation between the ball
if he
and
hasn't scored, he's so unlucky, isn't he? Because he's putting the ball. I mean, Brett Ferris doesn't know where his leg is.
Well, let's give credit to Brett Ferris here.
I'm going to say try.
Do you know, there's nothing in this. You go benefit of the doubt. You can see that there's definitely separation there. Does he lose the ball, or does he ground it?
Ian Smith is the video referee, and no wonder he's taking a lot of time over this, because it's a very important decision in the context of this game. Featherstone trail by 2 at this moment in time. If Ian Smith gives the green light, they will lead by 2.
I'm going to give it a try.
And so is Ian Smith. So Kyle Briggs gets the nod. He did have a fingertip on the ball. The despairing lunge from Brett Ferris wasn't enough, and Briggs has scored to put Featherstone in front. They lead 8-6. They trailed 6-0. What a fight back from the underdogs.
Well, just what Featherstone needs, some penalties and some stress and fractures in the defensive line. Johnny Hepworth with a great piece of skill and acceleration, and Darrell Clark gives the penalty away. Brett Ferris on a high tackle because of the speed and agility of said man Briggs. Liam Finn, the string puller. Johnny Hepworth finds Saxton, and what Saxton's got, Big Tommy Saxton, famed in this league for not only being difficult to put down, but that sort of stuff. Offloading, Ferris with another miss, does his absolute best, and that's a fantastic try.
Kyle Briggs, the scorer of the try. Liam Finn, the scorer of the goal. So Featherstone now lead 10-6. And remember, they've still got a man advantage with Darrell Clark in the sin bin. You know, since Super League started, there's been 204 meetings between Super League sides and clubs outside the top flight, and only 9 have been won by the underdog. Indebted to our ace statistician Ian Proctor for that. Burning the midnight oil with the record books, but 2 of the 9 that have lost have been Castleford. 2 times they've been knocked out of teams outside Super League as a Super League club. And there is Clark watching anxiously on, wondering, what have I done?
Well, it's amazing, isn't it, how the attitude of players changes. Because the opening 5 minutes, as we said earlier, lads, in commentary, they look very, very nervous. But now, it's not about 5 drives and a kick and just getting to that kick. What they're doing, they're throwing the ball around and they're chanting their arm. They really are testing Castleford.
2010, Castleford knocked at home by Barrow. 2006 as a Super League club lost at Widnes. In between those times, they scrambled home in Golden Point extra time at home to Halifax. They've had some edgy afternoons in the Challenge Cup. They're having another one here at the Big Fellas Stadium, aka Post Office Road. The Super League side trail, and we're almost at the halfway stage in the first half. Chase. Good offload to Snitch. Steve Snitch galloping away. 10 metres inside opposition territory, or offloads. It's knocked on. My goodness me, it's knocked on by Nathan Massey. There was a possible try in the offing for Cass.
Worthington just playing the ball. They had a big question mark over Brett Ferris. Playing in the centre, normally a back row. He took a short pass off Rangi Chase. Have a huge question mark over that. But some real pressure being built on Castleford now. I like what Featherstone are doing. They're backing up their breaks with good defence. There's the loose pass. Nathan Massey can't collect it.
Finn Hepworth just having a real influence on this game. They've got men over there with Worthington. A ball inside, another try. It's Ian Hardman. Ian Hardman is going to score his 14th try of the season, and possibly the most important of the lot. He scored 4 in the last round against the Hunslet Old Boys amateurs. Forget that, he scored 1 against Super League Castleford, and Featherstone, well, suddenly from 6-0 down, they're going to be 16-6 up.
Well, isn't it amazing how games turn? They know that Castleford are an extra man, have an extra man down. Here's the knock-on from Massey, the ball goes back, but just look at what Featherstone do when they get the ball. They spread wide, they pull into decent shape, they don't congregate round the ball. There's options in the front, out the back, and they're creating opportunities for each other. It's 3-on-2, then it's a 2-on-1. Ian Hardman supplies the pass to Worthington, then puts himself in a position to take the pass and to score underneath the sticks. It looks very exciting, this, for Featherstone.
We know Featherstone should score points. We saw them in the Championship last year. They scored 40 last week, for goodness sake, and lost 60 points to 40. The question is, can they defend and keep Castleford out? But you'd be a very worried man in Millwood, wouldn't you, Barry, after that? The ease at which Featherstone cut them apart there.
Well, again, we're perhaps not paying enough credit to Johnny Hepworth, who made his name as a halfback, playing at 13. Liam Finn just slotting the goal over, adding to the nerves and anxiety of the Castleford players. Johnny Hepworth, Liam Finn, Kyle Briggs, all good handlers of the rugby ball. And Ian Millward knows his side are in a real game now, and I'm sure the fans know it as well.
Well, Ian Millward is a wise old owl. He's also a wily old fox, if that's not mixing my animal metaphors, but he knows all about winning the Challenge Cup. Done it a couple of times as a coach. He knows the time of day. He rested many of his big hitters for the Easter Monday game against St Helens. The likes of Danny Orr and Rangi Chase sat that one out to get them absolutely fresh and mentally prepared right for this game. So they've done everything right, Castleford. They bossed the first 10 minutes, but what a turnaround.
They did put up a big effort against St Helens, and probably on a different day, on a drier day, might have gone a bit closer or even beat St Helens. Whether that's took some juice out of the tank, we're not too sure, only time will tell, but Featherstone really do look to have the measure of Castleford.
Down that far side, that's Featherstone's left. They are cutting Cass apart. Let's remember 2 things though. Darryl Clark is still in the sin bin for Castleford, and Featherstone are going downhill in this first half as Finn puts boot to ball. It's a high one. That'll test Richard Owen. He backpedals and he takes it well. Thought for a moment it was going to get away from him, but the Castleford fullback judged that well.
Well, you thought he misjudged it actually, Rob, because you can see him backing off, and then all of a sudden, bit of a stumble at the end, but he gets his marbles right, he concentrates on where the ball is, and again, comes up with it, just pouches it. But just look at what Featherstone are doing. They're getting numbers in, they're squeezing really tight, they're taking the goal forward away from Castleford, they're spinning the man onto the back, making it a slow play, the ball.
And perhaps, Tez, that's how they got them in the first set of 6 on the edge. Castleford can smarten up to that, find some space, find some territory on the edge they might burn and catch Featherstone.
With no Darryl Clark, Danny Orr having to go into dummy half as Snitch former runner-up in this competition with Huddersfield, gets over the halfway line, but this is the final tackle in this sequence for Cass, and Chase is putting in not really an attacking kick, but more of a probing kick, trying to play for territory rather than anything more than that. And Hardman, who got the third Featherstone try, cleans up at the back. The former St Helens fullback, in fact it was Ian Millwood, the now Cass coach, who gave him his debut at St Helens.
Do you know, he's a clever player, Danny Orr. Again, Featherstone looking to move the ball, get it into the middle of the park. Probably a risky play from Tanguy Rapati, but he looks up, Danny Orr, sees that Tanguy Rapati's flat, just knocks the ball in behind him. And again, they've been targeting Featherstone on the right side, whereas Featherstone are targeting Castleford on the right.
Well, Saxton will go himself. The only man to field to have won the Challenge Cup back in 2005. He was on the bench for Hull FC and came on in that memorable final against Leeds. Oh, risky offload! Risky offload. Had it come off, it would have been absolutely sumptuous. But Stuart Dickens, the Featherstone captain, put it down.
Well, Mickey Early, the Irish international, just couldn't resist that left arm offload. It was around the knees of Stuart Dickens. A little bit too risky, maybe.
Yeah, hindsight is a perfect coach. And with hindsight, instead of hang on to it, Michael, get the ball down the other end. Cass now threatening to get back into this game. Massey dancing inside. We've seen plenty of him. There's an offload that comes off this time, and Orr helps it on to Millington, the Australian. That's come loose.
Well, Millington asking the referee to say that that's a penalty because it was stripped from Stuart Dickens.
I'm sure I heard the referee say one-on-one. Let's have a look. Well, there's more than one in attendance.
Danny Orr was in attendance and dropped off, and now Featherstone have got the penalty. And there's some frustration around here for Castleford Tigers, as I mentioned. It's Millington again.
Well, it's that man Millington who was asking for the penalty, probably a bit frustrated. He gives the penalty away, loses the tackle with Tommy Saxton, who lands on his front. You've got to make sure that you're in control of the upper part of the body when you're defending.
Darryl Clark back on, but there was a lot, well, about to come back on, but a lot of damage has been done in his absence. As he left the field, Castleford led this Challenge Cup tie 6-4. They now trail it 16-6. Can they get more points on the board before Clark comes on? He's waiting on the periphery of the paddock as Featherstone come forward once more with Smeaton. Briggs, who scored one of the 3 tries. Ben Kay, once of the Leeds Rhinos, now very much of Featherstone Rovers, 10 metres out. Clark back on for Cass, but they're battening down the hatches again. Finn probing, offloading to Haley in the headgear. Last tackle here for Featherstone Rovers. Could they get a 4th try this first half? Briggs with a prodded left-footed kick and collected by Nick Youngvest. He defuses the bomb, and Castleford are out of trouble.
Well, they're difficult to take them, especially when there's 2 or 3 Featherstone defenders coming back to... Whoa! Kyle Briggs just lifting the body. I think it's Matty Dale as well.
Don Maloney.
Sorry, Don Maloney as well, adding weight. Just a little bit of frustration here.
Well, it is a very close and fierce rivalry. Just 4 miles between these 2 teams, and it wouldn't take much, Barry, to get this to go off like a firework display.
It wouldn't. But you look at the reaction of the players in a situation like that, when you've got one up top and one down below. We're seeing a lot of it lately. Players getting it wrong, and horizontal players getting a little bit nervous. Kyle Briggs getting a talking to, holding his hands up.
As we saw Jamie Peacock on the wrong end of a particularly nasty-looking spear tackle at Bradford over the Easter period. Ben Thaler's done well there, our referee, calmed things down very quickly.
I tell you what, Ben Thaler was in the middle of there, wasn't he? There was no backing down from Ben Thaler.
Castleford restart. They need something before half-time. 3 tries conceded to Championship Featherstone Rovers, the best side in the Championship consistently over the last 2 or 3 years, but they've always come short against their Super League sides in the cup. That's picked off. A piece of pocket picking by Featherstone Rovers.
Well, Grant Millington's not having the best couple of minutes, is he? He's lost the ball, give a penalty away, and then he looks to get that miracle offload away when it just wasn't on.
Matty Dale said thank you very much.
Well, you've just got to keep your focus, you've got to keep your concentration, but most of all, you've got to be disciplined when you're playing big derbies.
There's no need to panic here for Castleford. There's 55 minutes left, and 40 of those 55 minutes they'll be playing down the slope. What sort of lead do you think Featherstone need to take into half-time, bearing in mind they have got the advantage of the geography at this ground, Barry?
Well, I think of the two sides now, Featherstone are going to be the happiest. One, because they're in the lead, and two, because they're not that far behind on the scoreboard that it becomes impossible to get into the game. I do think that Castleford are a very different side when Darrell Clark is on the pitch. I like the way he unpicks defences. He mixes it up good between picking up and carrying it for a metre or two, engaging markers and feeding his runners and playing it off the floor and giving nice early service. There'll be a far more calm and collected side with him on the pitch, not just defensively, but with the ball as well.
He gives them direction from dummy half, and that appears to be forward from Darrell Clark. Maybe hasn't quite got back into the swing of things since coming out of the sin bin, but him going to dummy half enables Orr and Chase to play further away from the ruck and dictate things, but that's an error from Clark, and he knows it.
Working out on the move call, okay?
Yeah, it's a big Craig Hoovey. They know that they need to be better with the ball. Featherstone at the minute, the ones who seem to be playing with the most tempo, the more speed. As we said earlier, throwing that ball around, it did look as though they were just quite content to be on the pitch at the opening 5 minutes. But now, the change which they're playing, in the last 21 minutes, they've been outstanding.
Saxton not afraid to come in off the wing and do his fair share of work in the middle where the traffic is heavy and the big men are loitering and lurking. Briggs, that's high again from Chase. No, not this time, says Ben Thaler, says it bounced off the shoulder. Might have been slightly fortunate to get away with that, but play on is the call. Haley, and now Liam Finn, never afraid to take on the line. He's wrapped up. But this is a good attack brewing here for Featherstone Rovers. Hepworth, who's pulled the strings so effectively this afternoon. He really has had a wow of a game against his old club.
Well, there was a problem with Oliver Holmes in the back play then. He's just getting back into the line.
Ben Kay, at dummy half. Finn will prod that towards the left wing. It's mocked up on the far side. Disappointing end to the set as far as Featherstone are concerned. As Griffin brings it away. Haven't seen much of Josh Griffin so far. The 9-try leading scorer of the Cas Tigers. He might create something here.
He's been a terrific buy, Josh Griffin, but Featherstone about to play one of the trump cards now. Andy Kane will really spark things up, takes on defences, threatens defenders and really worries some of those bigger players in the middle. Coming on for the Featherstone side, look for a big fizz from the Rovers when he comes on.
Yeah, like having another halfback on the field, isn't it? We've really got 3 guys out there who can control a game now. 4 if you count Hepworth and Finn, Briggs, Kane, Hepworth. They've got a lot of playmakers out there. Here's the Castleford playmaker, Chase. That's not his best. And Hardman says, I can eat that for breakfast, lunch and tea if you like, Rangi.
But again, kicking the ball at the same part of the pitch, but it's all about energy, isn't it, rugby league? You've got to keep offering yourself for the ball. You've got to get behind the ball to bring it forward, and you've got to give your halfback something that they can play off the back of. And Featherstone at the minute, with Don Maloney on the part, they're doing that. They're giving them a good platform to play off.
That's gone loose. Who knocked it on? I think it might have been Darrell Clark. It might have been Darrell Clark. I'm not sure if it was batted down, Barry.
Yeah, you're right, Rod. Liam Finn just popped out at acting halfback, tried to find Johnny Hepworth on the opposite side. A nice move. Darrell Clark, you're right. Good spot, Rod.
Do you think Darrell Clark is trying to make up for lost time and maybe push things and really try too hard since he came out of the sin bin?
Yeah, but sometimes when a ball's that far in front of you, you've a decent chance of getting hold of it. It's an art and a skill, the intercept, and just tipping it back up to yourself, but giving possession back to the Rovers again. And the momentum, as it has been since the first 5 minutes of the game, is with the Rovers.
Darrell Powell has long been regarded as one of, if not the best British coach outside Super League. This would be an enormous scalp for the Featherstone Rovers coach, the former Leeds Rhinos coach. If he could pull one off here, his side lead 16-6, and boy, if they get another try before half-time, that would make things very interesting as Hepworth is knocked down by Kirk Dixon. We'll go down that side again, and there is the man Barry McDermott talked about. Andy Kane poking one through. Now, touch Judge on. This can mean only one thing, and that will be a Featherstone penalty.
Well, that's the threat that Andy Kane poses. I'm not sure even he knows what he's going to do. Almost Rangi Chasey-esque. Playing what he sees, looking at what's in front of him, and then making a decision on the back of that.
The lighthouse figure of John Gratian, like a beacon shining out there as he takes the ball forward, having come off the bench. Finn, Castleford under all sorts of pressure here. They cannot afford to concede again and go into half-time. 16 points adrift. They're already trailing by 10. Finn caught in possession, but Andy Kane going from dummy half. Live wire figure coming off the bench as Barry McDermott predicted he would be. Briggs is at dummy half this time. Again, it's Liam Finn. Finn has spotted a space for Hepworth. Hepworth has got a man outside him. It's another try here from Worthington. Greg Worthington has scored for Featherstone. They've come roaring back. They conceded the first try. They were 6-0 down, and now Darryl Powell's side lead by 20 points to 6. Kick to come.
Well, they seem to be really exploiting Castleford's right side, and Worthington seems to be really enjoying it along with his winger Tommy Saxton. Here's the penalty. It's Worthington that's taken out by Josh Griffin. They choose not to go for the 2 points. They want to keep the pressure on, even with Castleford back to the full complement. But look at the footwork there. They catch the Castleford defenders all out of shape. They're defending outside of the men. You see, right, Danny Orr, he has to come in. Then that puts pressure on Kirk Dixon. He doesn't react fast enough, but Greg Worthington spots the try line and scores the try.
It's Oliver Holmes who's attracted by one of the Featherstone, what we call dummy runners, and he's looking at a left shoulder tackle instead of maybe having a bit of a focus on the right side, which was Greg Worthington, who runs hard and strong.
Okay, pal.
This is an absolute humdinger of a game, Rod.
14 points. Featherstone lead by. Liam Finn has a chance to make it 16. 16 points if it goes over. It's not, it stays at 14. Well, we came here thinking we may see a good old-fashioned Challenge Cup tie. We're seeing one, there's no question about that. Well, there's some legends here. Alan Agar, he won the cup as coach of Featherstone in '83, and there's Mal Reilly to Agar's left, a couple of seats to his left. And a little further to the left, John Joyner, another Castleford legend. 3 men who've won the Challenge Cup. One of them's enjoying it. Alan Agar's enjoying it, that's for sure. I'm not sure that John Joyner and Mal are enjoying it very much. Mal always looks a bit stern, doesn't he? But he looked doubly stern there.
Mal is one of the toughest blokes you'll ever come across, but I know he loves a good hard contest, and that's exactly what we're getting here. Local rivals, local bragging rights on show here.
Surrender!
Full of heart and passion.
Stand!
Well, when Alan Agar took Fev to the Challenge Cup victory in '83, it was regarded, I think, as one of the upsets, greatest upsets in the history of the famous old competition. But this is going to be a huge upset if Featherstone can pull it off. Castleford started this game as red hot, 10-1 on favourites. Featherstone was 6-1 against. Not 6-1 at the moment.
Well, Liam Finn then just getting a bit carried away, trying to get that impossible play away, and then they give the penalty away.
It's a real shame that, Tez. I think it was Mickey Haley who fought hard for a quick play of the ball. Liam Finn trying an 11 out of 10 play.
7 minutes to go before half-time. Featherstone up by 14, having conceded the first try very early in the piece, in the 4th minute to Darryl Clark. He's since been sin-binned, and Featherstone have made Castleford pay. They've scored 4 tries to 1, but now they're on the defensive. Here is Clark trying to repair some of the damage. Danny Orr, always dangerous. Chase has been given next to no space.
Well, that was good play from Kyle Briggs. He came in and he closed that play down.
Orr again. This time it's Steve Snitch. Snitch has nowhere to go. Has to go down under a 2-man tackle. Chase this time with a little bit of running room. Oh, it's knocked on. My goodness me, it's Millington again.
He's not having a good afternoon, and Rangi Chase, as he does, skirting across the line, finds him on a drop-off play. Millington, the Australian forward, just a simple drop. It's a double drop-off. He's too busy looking at the defender in front of him, and big Johnny Gratian cast such a shadow he couldn't get hold of the ball.
Millington is having a nightmare out there. Haley over halfway, this time safety first, no miracle offload required from Michael Haley. This time playing it smart, playing it sensible. There's the little kick, that's the touch finder. That's smart play, boys, isn't it, at this stage of the game?
It is, Rod. That's exactly what they need. Going into a dangerous time in the game. The part-time team, which is Featherstone, against the full-time team, which is Castleford. They need this, getting up to half-time, 5 minutes to go. dangerous time where the energy levels just may be dropping off, but they're making sure that they're completing the set to 6. They're turning the ball over when they want to turn it over, and they're defending really strongly.
Well, Daryl Powell, in charge of the Featherstone Rovers, will be loving this, really enjoying it. He gets his players in at half-time. He's a very passionate bloke, Powell, know him very well, enjoys a contest, enjoys playing at home here at Featherstone. His heart and soul is in the Featherstone Rovers club. Him, along with the fans and players, are having an absolute ball today.
Well, outside the stadium, there are signs everywhere saying Destination Super League. That's Featherstone's long-term project, but today is all about destination, last 16 of the Challenge Cup.
And you know, they do a terrific job, not just with the first team. They run a thriving scholarship programme. They have done for the last 3 or 4 years, bringing local juniors into the Featherstone philosophy.
Hooby, great to see him back. That's the offload he can produce. He was close to the England squad when he suffered that nasty injury last year. And Daryl Clark strides away, and Clark looks to offload. He's got it away. There's a try on this time. They're back in business here, Castleford. It's a long, long time coming and a long, long way back from where they are. But they have finally trapped the Featherstone Rovers defence, and finally Josh Griffin adds to his try tally this season. That's his 10th of the campaign. A little bit of a mini drought, hasn't scored in the last 2. He has now. What a crucial try it could prove to be.
Well, that's the threat that Castleford have got. Craig Hubie throws a speculator, Daryl Clark, who's a tremendous player with bags of pace, a two-handed offload, presents it to his centre, Kurt Dixon. Let's just see whether there's a little bit of a fumble here. Nick Youngquist may well have lost control of that. Missed by the referee. Craig Hubie, offload, Daryl Clark. There's no substitute for speed in sport, and in our game in particular. And Josh Griffin, well, he gets Castleford Tigers back into this game.
Terrific try. Daryl Clark, the architect. Griffin, the finisher. Been a terrific signing from Wakefield for Castleford. 10 tries this season now, and that a priceless touchdown coming as it did 4 minutes before half-time, which cuts Featherstone's lead from 14 to 10. And Dixon, 1 from 1 on the afternoon. Can he make it 2 from 2 and cut the lead to just 8 at the break? Still 3 minutes to go. We might see some more fun and games before half-time yet, as Dixon sizes up the 2-point opportunity and misses it. Featherstone by 10.
Well, this is that dangerous period now that Featherstone need to get to half-time. They need to make sure that they go in there without conceding a try. And Josh Griffin, he's been targeted down that right edge, as we've been saying all afternoon, but he comes up with trumps and scores a try. But let's give credit to Craig Hubie. There was 3 defenders around him. He gets the ball away, and Daryl Clark just too much speed to go on the outside of John Gratian.
There's Craig Hubie. We've been growing that beard since he last played rugby league on the 25th of April 2011. Terrific to see him back. That was a horrible knee injury picked up. He missed 27 games for Castleford, virtually a year. I think it's a pretty safe bet in the form he was in that he would have been in the England squad.
25 years of age, I've always admired him. I think he's a very good player. He can play the game. He's not just a battering ram. He knows exactly what to do, and when he needs to come into the line and add a bit of and definitely a player with a big future.
You made the point, Terry. This is a very important period in this game. 2.5 minutes to go before the half-time siren. If Cass could strike again, it would make a huge difference as Stuart Jones carts it up. Last tackle call by referee Ben Thaler. Clark, chase. Well, that's straight down the throat of Ian Hardman, who's been dining out on Rangi Chase's kicks in this first half.
Well, that wasn't the best of kicks. Ian Hardman didn't have to move. He was like a magnet, then throwing that ball towards him. You feel they must complete this set of 6, Featherstone. Don't turn the ball over cheaply. Kick long yet again. Give it to Liam Finn. Give it to Kyle Briggs. Whether you stick the ball dead, just buy that bit of extra time. And Tom Saxton looking again to bring his teammates onto the ball. Ooh, dangerous play by Tommy Saxton, 10 yards from his line.
It should be safety first here. Look at the clock. They can see the clock just as we can. The big screen here at the Big Fellas Stadium is perfectly visible to the Featherstone players. They know that time is ticking away in this first half. Why cough the ball up inside your own half? That's a good kick from Briggs.
A nice early kick. Goal line. Brilliant kick. Nice early kick, making Richard Owen return that ball. I don't agree, Tez. Don't kick it dead. keep it on the island and make them run away from their own line.
Do you know, that is brilliant. Barry's already said it, but he was 5 yards from his line, coming off a bit of a slow play, the ball, and he just lands it exactly, what, 2 yards from their line?
Well, it's like utilising the contours of the ground, isn't it? This is the slope, and Featherstone know how to play this slope. He put that down that slope beautifully and let it to just run on towards the goal line.
And if that ball would have run dead, the Castleford players have to retreat and get behind the 20-metre line.
Hold it! Hold it!
Arguing with Barry there, are you?
He is, but the point is, within 2 play, the balls will be on the halfway.
Picked up by Hardman. Hardman gets away from one man, but he doesn't get away from Steve Snitch, who's all over the Featherstone fullback like a cheap suit. And Featherstone now with 35 seconds left. Have they got something left in their locker here? Is there something left here for Featherstone Rovers, still inside their own half?
Rod, I was just about to comment on your suit then.
Look at that.
3. Movement!
There's 3 tackles left in this set of 6. They can run out the clock here if they like. Depends how much ambition here for Featherstone Rovers. They're keeping the ball moving, and Kane is keeping it moving, that's for sure, with Hardman. Hardman offloads. Briggs steps onto his left foot, still going. Well, they might just take the tackle here, Carl Briggs. It's probably sensible enough. There's 5 seconds left. They might hoist the big bomb here as Ian Millwood looks on, a worried man. They stick this one up in the air, or they're just going to run the clock down?
Has a hooter gone?
Well, the hooter goes on a very, very productive first half for Featherstone Rovers. They couldn't have asked for more, particularly as they went 6-0 down early. Darrell Clark put them in front, but Johnny Hepworth has helped them back into this contest. He's been one of the key string pullers that have got these Featherstone fans on their feet. Tries from Tanguy Rapati, from Kyle Briggs, from Ian Hardman, and from Greg Worthington. A couple of those tries came with Darrell Clark in the sin bin, and he was made to pay. Josh Griffin got one back for Castleford before the break, but the underdogs are still in front. 20 points to 10. Can Featherstone possibly win this cup tie?
The summer getaway you've been dreaming of is here. With the flexibility to change your booking on all of our flights and package holidays. Book now with EasyJet. Holidays at or protected.
Jess, welcome to your Moneyverse. Here you can see where your money can take you. Talk with the Barclays Money Mentor to make a plan to get you there.
I've got this.
Yes, you have, Jess. Talk to a Barclays Money Mentor and make money work for you.
Come on holiday, Bishop. It'll be relaxing, you said. I was gonna get a treatment.
Treatment? You need counselling, bro.
We're here at the Big Fella Stadium in Featherstone for the 4th round of the Challenge Cup. On the home side, the Featherstone Rovers are 10 points to the good, 20 points to 10. Tries from Ropati, Briggs, Hardman and Worthington, Finn kicking 2 goals. And for the Castleford Tigers, try from Clark and Griffin, and Dixon with 1 from 2. Well, Darrell Powell, I'm sure, will be delighted with this. Completion rate of 86%, a big factor in their 10-point lead at half-time, I'm sure. And these boys will be pinching themselves. 10 points to the good against a Super League opposition and playing very, very well. Well, Ian Millward, he knows he's got strike in this team, and he, I'm sure, will point at a 63% completion rate and the amount of drop ball that made it difficult for them. But they did, however, have the best start to the game, Terry, today.
They did, Brian, didn't they? But look at the way that Featherstone conceded his try. Darrell Clark, this is one of the simplest tries, and this is a coach killer for Darrell Powell. He'd be very disappointed. Did they ground that ball, Darrell Clark? Well, the referee, Ben Fairler, was right on the spot. He said, yes, they did. But then their effort and their attitude to get back into this game. But this is what I like. Danny Orr was put on the chase. It was a bit of a sloppy kick. The ball comes down into Featherstone's hands, and it then comes down to a foot race between Tanguy Rapati. Danny Orr comes across. Tanguy Rapati thinks that he's going to be caught, so he steps off his right foot and goes in for the opening try. Then all of a sudden, the pressure's on this Castleford Tigers on the back of 2 penalties. Kyle Briggs it is, that just seems to come up with a simple, decent play. Tommy Saxton, you can't ever knock off on this lad because he goes across the line. He's looking to offload the ball, play second phase rugby, Again, it went to the video referee Ian Smith, but he said yes, there was no separation in this. This was a try.
And Barry, the good news continued, of course, for the Featherstone Rovers.
Well, the Rovers trying to maintain the pressure and keep going with some good stuff. Johnny Hepworth's had a brilliant first half there. And from this passage of play, you always feel that Castleford are struggling. And Ian Hardman puts the ball down under the black dot for the Rovers. And Greg Worthington, coming on a beautiful line, just manages to evade the defenders and tacklers from Castleford. But just like the Super League outfit they are, Craig Hubert getting a loose speculator, Darrell Clark, who can have a big influence on this game if he can stay on the pitch. Lovely offload and a beautiful try for the Castleford side.
A crucial try as well. Rod Studd asked you the question in commentary, Barry. What sort of a winning lead do you think Featherstone would need going in at half-time? You just got the feeling 20 points to 6. There still might be some tries of the Castleford Tigers. Got one towards the end of the game. 10 points. Do you think it might be enough?
Well, I think what Castleford have to do, what Featherstone have to do, is just live with the speed of the play of the ball. And what they need to do is just keep in this game and make sure that Castleford aren't dictating by a good kicking game and they're not putting pressure on the Rovers at the wrong ends of the pitch.
Terry, you mentioned it in commentary, the slope on this hill, and when we're here looking at it, it is significant. Featherstone will have to run up the hill in the second half. Do you think that'll play a factor?
Well, Featherstone play here, don't they? So no, they won't think it will. You look at when you're defending, you've got to run up the hill to get set. So there's no real advantage other than when you've got the ball. But when you've got the ball, you've got it on your terms, haven't you? What I like about Featherstone is what they're doing with the ball. They've got a high completion rate, but it's not 5 drives in a kick. They're throwing the ball around. They're taking Castleford defenders, they're pulling them out the line, and the halfbacks are having an absolute field here.
Well, all the answers will be received in the next 40 minutes of Cup Rugby League here on Sky Sports. The Featherstone Rovers outstanding for 40 minutes. The Castleford Tigers a little off colour, but we know they've got strike and we know they've got tries. Can they get themselves back into this game? Join us after a short break.
Hi, I've come about the leak.
Come on in. It's the bathroom at the top of the stairs. I'll pop the kettle on.
Oh, lovely.
It's a bit of a tricky one.
It's a good job we do more than just tools. Tool Station. Tools and more for any task.
At Wren, we only make kitchens, specialising in everything from design to delivery, which means we have kitchens at the right price for everyone. Like this complete flat pack kitchen for just £2,394 or £30 per month. Or this complete fully built kitchen for £8,269 or £89 per month, interest free. Plus, sale now on. Visit wrenkitchens.com to book your appointment today.
The Eurostream has been hijacked.
This is revenge. Get out of there alive.
We're here at the Big Fella Stadium in Featherstone for round 4 of the Challenge Cup. We've got a real humdinger, the home side, Featherstone Rovers, 20 points to the 10 in front of the Castleford Tigers. Tries from Paddy, Briggs, Hartman and Worthington. 2 Finn goals, Clark and Griffin for the Castleford Tigers, and a goal from Dixon for them. Time now to go to your commentary team of Terry O'Connor, Barry McDermott, and led by Rod Studd.
Brian, thanks. 39 years ago to this very day, on the 14th of April 1973, in the semi-final of the Challenge Cup, Featherstone under Peter Fox produced one of their greatest cup wins when they defeated the Castleford Tigers and went on to a win at Wembley against Bradford. Can they repeat the dose? Almost 4 decades on, they lead by 10 at half-time. They're playing uphill in the second half. The Super League side, Castleford Tigers, started as 10-1 on favourites. Can they dig themselves out of a mighty hole in this second half, Terry?
Well, it was a costly sin binning, wasn't it, from Darrell Clark in the opening, was it 10 minutes? So, and Shawnee Millward has prepared his side very well, and they know that in this local derby it's going to be full of blood and guts and players just who wants it the most. That's what it comes down to 9 times out of 10 in rugby. You can have the most skillful team on paper, but if you don't turn up in the right frame of mind to play, you'll get beat.
5 years since these clubs last met. That was in what is now the Northern Rail Cup. They were both lower league clubs then. Featherstone were in the third tier of Rugby League and Cass were in the second. There's just one survivor as far as Feather concerned. That's their captain, Stuart Dickens. And there's 4 for Cass. This would be a huge upset. This is Youngquest for Castleford. They've got the advantage of the slope in the second half, but boy, are they going to have to use it to get out of this mess. 10 points behind. Are they to lose to lower league opposition as a Super League side for the third time?
Do you know, sorry Rod, do you know people talk about the difference between playing up the hill and down the hill? Obviously when you're playing down, your momentum, the depth of your run is very different. You're a lot further back, difficult ball to deal with and to handle there from Hardman. But also then when you're playing up the hill, the depth of your passes are very important. Maybe a metre and a half further back is what you need to be. And I think sometimes teams, and you would expect Featherstone not to be one of them, fall into the trap of not gaining momentum by having enough depth.
Well, Featherstone do have the advantage, of course, knowing exactly what the geography of their ground is. They know what it's like to play uphill there. They know that the kicks won't run as far.
They know exactly what they need to do on this pitch, Featherstone Rovers. If Featherstone can't play on the home pitch, there's no side that can turn up and play here.
They lead by 10. Last tackle comes indicated by Ben Thaler. It's 10 metres inside the underdogs' half of the field. It's Liam Finn who will whack it away up towards Richard Owen, who was a doubt until the morning of the match. He sat out training yesterday with a groin strain. Has it gone again?
He's pulled up. Straight away, as soon as he catches that ball, he goes to accelerate, and then you can see him just pull up.
Yeah, that's it. He's done for the day. It was a risky, and Millwood accepted that. He thought long and hard about picking Richie Owen. He wanted him to play. He's a key man. McGoldrick will come on at fullback. The experienced Ra McGoldrick, wearing 23, enters the fray.
Well, in cup games, you go with your best side on. You can just see that without even making any sort of contact. That's a recurrence of the same injury.
Felt it was worth taking the risk. Craig Hubie, Ian Millwood, the Cass coach, knows he's had to shuffle his pack. Brings McGoldrick on. Chase, stepping, dancing, and almost squirming through the gap. Still the danger man. Little chip ahead. Might get another set here, will they? Referee waves play on. Chance here for Castleford on this near side. He's still saying it's the same set of tackles. He's our referee, and he'll say that's the end of it. Oliver Holmes was desperately like Britain's strongest man, trying to carry a lorry over the try line with him. Couldn't get there.
Well, terrific desire from Featherstone Rovers on the goal line. And Oliver Holmes had 3 men pulling him back, clinging him away from that line. The determination and the mental toughness of this Featherstone side is going to be tested, and you feel that that won't be the first time they'll have to defend their own goal line. Great work.
I thought for a moment that Ben Thaler was going to give another set from the little grubber ahead from Darryl Clark.
Hold it. 3, go. 4, move. Hold, go. 5, move.
Last tackle again. They haven't got out their own half in this second period so far. Featherstone. Finn. Again, we'll look to bisect the two at the back. Was Griffin and McGoldrick fresh onto the field. Well, Ryan McGoldrick, one of the senior stars of this Castleford side. He knows all about cup ties, experienced pro. He's a good man to have on the bench to bring on for Richard Owen.
Well, it's the experience that you may look for when you lose one of your marquee players. But a good kick yet again from Featherstone. But what's impressing me is how they're working so hard. When they seem to be getting to the kick, they're working hard to put the pressure on the other end of the park, and the rest will learn from Stuart Dickens and John Gresham, not letting the Castleford player get to the ground.
Well, Dixon felt he was being impeded by Dickens, but the referee wasn't interested. Here's Millington, over halfway. Most of this period of play has been played in the Featherstone half. Clark goes galloping away from dummy half. Dickens had to be quick to shut the door on a live wire Castleford hooker. Last in this set, Danny Orr with his hands on the football. A chip over the top. Well, it threatens to catch Saxton out. It's bobbling loose. And Clark offloads again, and Saxton will somehow get a second bite at the cherry. Almost got caught out there.
Well, that was a lovely little dink over the top from Castleford, but Darryl Clark starting to come more and more into this game. He popped out from dummy half in the previous set of 6, and the ball being offloaded, and probably Castleford started the half the stronger of the two sides.
They did that in the first half, to be fair, Barry, didn't they? They scored one try, but then fell in a heap for 20-25 minutes. But this is hard work now for Featherstone. Oh, they get the relief of a penalty, and boy, that whistle will be like music to Daryl Powell's ears.
Well, Rod, you feel that they needed that, don't you? They were under pressure. You can just see that they're just not getting back. It's Craig Hooby just to the right of the referee, Ben Thaler. He didn't manage to get back the extra metre, which you need to.
This is the first play of the ball for Featherstone inside opposition territory in this second half. Here is Mr. Featherstone, Stuart Dickens. 32 years old and been here man and boy. Here's Liam Finn. Hepworth has had a wow of a game but can't get away. Oh, he squirms free. He slipped the net there. Johnny Hepworth against his old club Castleford, one of 5 ex-Castleford Tigers in this Featherstone side. Finn delayed the pass. Dickens outside him. They lead by 10, Featherstone. This is their first attack of the second period. Kane, who's done well since coming off the bench, ducked under a couple of tackles. This is the final tackle, though. Dickens has gone in at dummy half. That allows Finn to get further away from the ruck to direct the traffic. It slips through the hands of Briggs. This is a real mess of a last tackle option, if ever there was one, and they'll turn it over 25 metres from that Castleford line. Daryl Powell will be disappointed with that, Barry.
He'll expect a better end to his sets of 6, and once he gets Castleford down there, there's a rip, there's a strip there. Andy Kane trying to plead innocent, but he'll need to go to confession tomorrow. Or was he one-on-one there?
Well, it was a split second, wasn't it?
Maybe that's what he was pleading.
Yeah, I think so. It was a split second when the second Castleford, the second Featherstone defender came in. Very difficult for Ben Thaler to make a minute judgment like that, but he calls it as a penalty for Castleford, and Grant Millington will rumble forward. 32 minutes left. Featherstone threatening another huge Challenge Cup upset. Hooby. They can't get through that gap, but weight of pressure could well pay in the latter stage. It's been all Castleford in this second half. Jones just examining this Featherstone defence there, taking petrol out of the Rovers tank. Danny Orr, Hooby offered himself. It goes to Chase. Chase sees nothing outside on his left-hand side. Comes across to this near side. The hop, the step and the jump, the full routine from Rangi Chase. Dixon, it's a forward pass from Chase. It's a forward pass from Chase.
Well, what you can't do when you're defending against Rangi Chase is jump the line. He's running across the line, looking for the defender to shoot out of it. You can just see that Liam Finn comes out, but the offload from him goes forward, says the referee, Ben Thaler. But don't jump the line when you defend against a player like Rangi Chase. It'll cause you all kinds of problems.
31 minutes is a very long time in a game of rugby league. In fact, 1 minute can seem a long time in a game of rugby league sometimes. There's no need for Castleford to be trying Hollywood plays every set here, is there?
But Rangi Chase has built his game and built his career on those types of things. He is a player that can pull something out the bag, and a player that they brought on, Ryan McGoldrick, who's now at full-back. He's another jack-in-the-box who can throw things at defences that they're not expecting.
Well, all logic dictates that a full-time Super League side should have superior fitness as we get into the latter stages. As Dickens looked to offload, he was tempted to offload. He kept the ball tight to his chest. Andy Kane, a long pass, or it was a hospital pass, almost literally in that case. I bet Tim Spears was absolutely delighted to see that arriving at the same time as a Castleford opponent.
Well, he'll just have been glad to keep hold of the ball under the pressure of Rangi Chase, and the kicking game needs to be good. Better ends to the sets of 6.
It's not drawn, it's spilled. Well, now then, Ben Thaler. Now then, Ben Thaler. It was spilled and collected by Danny Orr.
I think that's a knock-on, Rod. I genuinely think that's a knock-on. Danny Orr catches it and it hits.
Yeah, Worthington.
That's a knock-on.
Not given. In amongst all the flying arms, feet and bodies, Ben Thaler calls play on. Chase looking to unlock the door of this Featherstone Rovers defence, and every second is a friend to Featherstone. It's ticking down as we reach the half-hour to go mark. Huge crowd here, most of them from Featherstone, willing their boys on. Chase goes to the air. No problem. He's had a good game. Ian Hardman, it might get even better. He scored once. He's herring down that touchline. What a run for the former St Helens fullback. Sensational stuff.
Brilliant take from Ian Hardman. Pouches the ball and chews up 20-25 metres for his team.
Saxton. Well, he wanted to offload. He did offload to Worthington. This is all set up by Ian Hardman's catch, regather, and romp down the sideline on the far side. Another try. Well, it might be enough to see them through. Big John Grayson will cart it up to within 10 metres of the Castleford line. Andy Kane off the subs bench to find Finn, to find Kyle Briggs. Once to the Bradford Bulls, now back at his former club, Featherstone Rovers, for a second spell. This time it's Spears, Dickens, Finn now. Grayson, not sure it was meant for him, but he collected it anyway. Now Hardman. Hardman's got Saxton. Saxton for the corner. No, the flag is up. It could have been a game-clinching try for Tommy Saxton. I don't think it is, but Ben Thaler wants to check. He wants to get the evidence of the TV pictures.
Well, it's a crucial decision, but Tommy Saxton, I'm with you. I'm sure that he goes into touch here. A good effort from Griffin to prevent this try from Saxton. But Featherstone have come up with two big runs. Ian Hardman and Stuart Dickens, the prop forward, to get him in this decent field position. Tommy Saxton, he thinks that he scores this try, but you can see clearly from that shot that he's in touch.
Well, the touch to Tony Martin is in a perfect position and virtually puts his flag up straight away. Pressure starting to build on the Tigers, though.
Confirmation that it is no try, it will be a scrum. Yeah, touch just got it right, but no harm in Ben Thaler having a little look with the advice of Ian Smith, our video ref, and Saxton so close to putting Featherstone 14 clear. But we talk a lot about the number of tries Josh Griffin has scored this year, and it's 10, including one in this match. He's effectively made that 11, but that's as good as scoring a try,
Of course it is, Rod, of course it is. In a game like this, that's exactly what you need. You need someone to come up with some big defensive plays like that, and that's exactly what Josh Griffin did then.
That could be the game changer, the tide turner in this Challenge Cup tie. Chase looking to turn the tide even more. Oh, he's had his pocket picked again.
Well, he's getting himself more and more into this game, Brangy Chase, but it's still not coming off for him. The offload down the other end of the park. You can just see he's trying everything, but Smeaton puts himself in a good position to get that ball.
Yes, it was Sam Smeaton playing the role of the artful dodger there. Chase, he has got to come to this party soon. He's the main man for Castleford. He tops every statistic you could ever wish to see in terms of Castleford Tigers, really, in terms of breaks, assists. You do wonder where they'd be without him. Hepworth, no one to offload to. As time ticks away, you wonder whether Featherstone do have to score again. Have they already got a winning lead in 10 points? I wonder, as Finn goes to the air while Youngwest can watch and wait and collect that. You think Featherstone need to score again, or have they got enough in the bank?
I think they need to keep building pressure, keep piling on the pressure, and the more chances that Rangi Chase and Darryl Clark, particularly Danny Orr, who's got a very composed rugby league game in his back pocket, the more decisions they have to make in this part of the field, the better for Featherstone Rovers.
Well, here come Castleford, and it's Dixon. And Dixon has nowhere to go whatsoever and did well to stay in the field of play. Griffin, who we just saw making that try-saving tackle on Saxton, to Orr, to Stuart Jones. And Jones tries to squirm through. But there's just enough Featherstone Rovers players there. There's a man down in back pace, so Featherstone are down to 12 effectively to defend this set. Chase knocked down, but it'll be a scrum. He didn't see it as deliberate, which would have been a penalty, but that'll be a scrum, and that'll give Featherstone a chance to regroup.
Well, it's Kyle Briggs. He knows that they caught. He sticks his right arm out and knocks that ball forward, but he knows that they're short. He knows that Andy Kane is out of position, and you can see from that camera angle that it is a clear knock-on as Andy Kane makes his way to rejoin his teammates. They've got another set of 6 to defend, 10 yards from the line.
Look, there was some smart play there by Kyle Briggs, because A, he stopped a dangerous attack, and B, they had a man down anyway, and he's got away with just conceding a scrum. Can they hold out from this set of 6? It'll start 10 metres from the Featherstone try line. Featherstone lead by 10. Chase on the ball. Snitch coming straight through a big hole, which shots just quick enough. You'd fancy Chase or Orr to conjure something up from here. He's got his hands on the ball again, the England international Chase, so it's all got a bit congested and mixed up with McGoldrick. They were lucky not to fumble the football. In all honesty, 4 tackles left in this sequence. Don't have to score here, but have to force more pressure here, you feel. Chase drops that ball off once more to Nathan Massey. And Massey's within 2 metres of the Featherstone line. It's Clark, it's spilled. My goodness me, a try beckoned for Johnny Walker. All he had to do was catch it and fall over. It was a fast pass, a fierce pass, but you feel he had to take it.
Well, that type of crash ball play needs a very delicate pass. The weight of it needs to be absolutely perfect. The 2 players running at it will be running at 1,000 miles an hour. Johnny Walker just couldn't control it. Ian Millward knows that was a chance again. Again, I think you mentioned it, Rod. You don't have to score points every time. Every time you're down here, you just need to camp out.
Well, that's come free now. What are you going to say about that?
That's a penalty.
It's a penalty. Yeah. You're right, Barry.
Well, it's Brett Ferris's right arm, isn't it? The man's up, is it Carl Briggs? He's going to play the ball, and then all of a sudden, you can see here, he just knocks the ball out.
Don't be jumping forward, though. Be careful.
Well, Ben Thaler got the guidance from the touchers there, because Ben Thaler was looking at the Castleford defensive line, and his touchers said that's been pulled free. It's a penalty, and Ben Thaler blew the whistle. 25 minutes left. 25 minutes separating Featherstone from one of their biggest Challenge Cup wins. Certainly, arguably the biggest since they won the cup back in '83. They've reached the semi-final since in the final winter season, 1995. But they lost to Leeds at Elland Road. But this would be big, very big. And talking of big, here's Big John Gratian charging forward. Couple of metres out. Andy Kane. Can they fashion up another try? It would be their 5th. Kane across the line, run around with Dickens. Kane showing the ball. And then the end has to take the tackle.
Danny, 10 metres!
Camped out here now. Can they force something here? Can they score here? This time it's James Lockwood. Takes the sensible option. It takes 3 Tigers to take him down. Kane has some space. Well, the drop goal was on for Briggs, but instead he goes left-footed to the far side. And Cass survived.
Tempers just a little bit fractious at the minute. Castleford deal with the threat. Ryan McGoldrick ends up with a rugby league ball in his hands.
Who's saying we've got in? We've got anything when he's hitting across the face. Right, I'll go a penalty. Ryan, come here.
OK, well, it's Ryan McGoldrick who's in trouble here with Ben Thaler, and this will spell more trouble for a confused McGoldrick and a bemused Castleford Tigers lineup, because they conceded a penalty. Now they lead by 10 here. That's kickable. Would they fancy making this 12 instead of 10?
Let's go.
Well, there's a bit of touch.
The elbow.
Well, a touch of frustration maybe from Ryan McGoldrick.
Well, the answer, do they fancy trying to go 12 clear instead of 10, is no. It would still be a 2-score lead. Well, this is a gimme 2. It's getting a bit fruity out there.
Jake Emmett, I think, just dropped a knee.
Time's off.
Well, another 2 points. Sorry, Barry, wouldn't put them any more than 2 scores clear, but it would be 2 converted tries. And Daryl Powell has said, I've seen enough of this shenanigans. Get me the kick and tee, get it out there. Give me 2 points, give me a 12-point lead, courtesy Liam Finn. That's what they're going to do.
James Lockwood trying to get up and play the ball. Gets a knee in his face from Jake Emmett. You talked about frustration, you said, was that the reason that Ryan McGoldrick raises his arm and lifts the elbow? No, he shouldn't be frustrated. It's Featherstone's game to win this. Here's the nudge. As Lockwood stands up, you can see the smile on his face. He knows what's coming. There's the 2 guilty men.
And whatever the whys and wherefores, I'll tell you one thing that's fact. It's Featherstone 22, Castleford 10. That's the fact, that's the reality. There's 12 points between these 2 teams. The underdogs are in front, and if Castleford don't score at least 2 converted tries, they are out of the Challenge Cup.
Well, the message will be out there now from Daryl Powell, because how many times have we seen it? You scored a try, or you kick 2 points from a penalty, and then you make a mistake. They cannot afford to do that, Featherstone, in this set of 6.
That is always the danger with taking the 2 points, Terry, as you so rightly point out. They need to get through this set, don't they? Coming away from their own try line, get to a kick and get rid of it.
Well, this is what you don't mind as a coach, whether it is 5 drives and a kick or your outside backs, like Rangi like Rapati should have said, has come in and he's trying to take the pressure off some of his big fellas.
Moving the ball more than just one out. There were a few passes in that sequence. Johnny Hepworth in the end took the tackle. Just want to get to the end of this set. That's good stuff.
Just go forward and play direct, whether it's tight to the ruck or off a +1.
22 minutes left. I mentioned it was 39 years ago to the day that Featherstone knocked Castleford out in the Challenge Cup semi-final. Could they do it again? That's charged down. Problems for Briggs. That could go anywhere. Steve Stitch. Stitch offloads. Well, they haven't scored, but they have got field position right on the charge line. They didn't get to the end of the set, probably. Chase. Massey now. Nathan Massey rumbling towards the try line. The ball's loose. It'll be a penalty. Well, the kick was charged down. We said it was the danger from the penalty. That they didn't get that set right, they were in trouble.
Well, they need to help Kyle Briggs out now. That's why it's a team sport.
Massey, straight from the penalty. They've got bodies under the ball.
Short one.
He can't possibly have got that down. He's short, says Ben Thaler. Darryl Clark. Clark is pounced upon illegally. They were offside.
Wait there, wait.
Two penalties back to back.
Do you know what? That was clever play from Stuart Dickens because he had 3 of his teammates on the floor in the in goal.
Chase. This is Castleford's opportunity. Stitch, Stitch. Oh, again, within a metre. That's 3 times they've been a metre short in the last minute or so. Can they get over the try line? I don't think they can. Not even Walker can force his way over the try line. I've seen him come close. He spilled the ball on that try line a minute or 2 ago. This is Danny Orr. Orr has got Chase. Featherstone have got Chase, but they don't hold him. Jones, Stuart Jones, driving for the line. This is determined defence. It's sensational. Challenge Cup tie winning defence from Featherstone Rovers, perhaps. McGoldrick finds Chase. They're looking for the key to this defence from Rangi Chase. Danny Orr desperately trying to offload. That is a brilliant tackle from Andy Kane that keeps him at bay. It's still Castleford. This is the final tackle. It would have been. It's a penalty.
On the last play as well, they were turning up for each other in defence. Even when the ball was going away from them, they were still pushing really hard.
Surely they can't keep the tide from coming in here, can they, Featherstone? 3 penalties successively. They're desperately trying to stem this tide of Tigers. Or Chase again, seeing so much of the ball. This will be the try, will it? No, it won't. Oliver Holmes is knocked down a metre short. What defence from Featherstone. Can they possibly hang on? They're still hanging on. Well, I tell you what, this will decide the game, you feel here. If Featherstone hang on, maybe this is the back of the game broken. It's absolutely unbelievable. 4 sets here they've defended. Danny Orr going round in circles looking for an option, looking for an opportunity. The door is slammed shut in his face. And Orr, who was a beaten finalist for Wigan 8 years ago. Get up, says Ben Thaler. I'm not interested in giving a penalty for that. Massey to Chase. Chase looking to put boot to ball. It goes through a gap. It's collected by Featherstone. What a defensive effort. It's Andy Kane who comes up with the football. Just some of how good that was.
Mate, that is absolutely heroic, and that is what lifts you as a team when you know that your teammate turns up for you. It all comes from the mistake from Kyle Briggs not getting that ball away on the last tackle. Then subsequently they've got 4 sets of 6 on their own line, but they stand strong and they stand toe-to-toe.
But you need somebody to cart the pigskin up here. Here's a big shot from Rangi Chase.
Castleford, 4 times winner of the Challenge Cup. Rapati feeling the after effects of that challenge. Hepworth boots it away. We're inside the final quarter. Well, it's somehow collected. I don't know how they managed to do that. It was Lockwood, and they managed to get an overlap on that far side to Sam Smeaton. Smeaton is showing one way, he's going the other. Well, Castleford got back. There was an element of luck to that, because that kick was certainly not intended for luck.
No, it wasn't. It was a bit of a disorganised kick as Tanguy Rapati has to leave the pitch from that collision with Rangi Chase. You can see he's come off second best there.
Well, it was all well that ends well. It was a shambolic end to that set of 6, but it somehow ended up virtually on the Castleford try line. And this is one of the best cup ties of the last decade or so. It's an absolute belter here.
Well, you could just feel the desperation from Featherstone in everything that they do. They're just clinging into this game, clinging onto it best they can. And you do make your own luck. James Lockwood put himself in a position to catch that ball, then offload it. And the Rovers players are continually putting their bodies in the way.
Ready. Go.
Last one. Oh, what a mess. McGoldrick gets it away to Orr, and Orr eventually puts boot to ball, but that won't worry Featherstone. That's exactly what they want to see. An absolute mess at the end of the set of 6. And Ian Hardman, who I have to say has been superb at fullback for Featherstone, cleans up again.
He's been absolutely outstanding in this game. 62 minutes, 17 minutes to go. And if they think that they can't go any harder, they've got to find something from within, as James Lockwood yet again comes up with a decent run.
Well, the question at half-time was, can Featherstone hold on? The question is very different now. It's, can Castleford possibly come back?
Well, do you know what? They're the team that's got to come from behind. And you've got James Lockwood, you've got Stuart Dickens, who both come up with 2 decent runs then and injured some of the Cas players because they're running hard. They're running to bust, Rob.
And Castleford are faced with something, it's one of the biggest pressures in sport. It's scoreboard pressure. They are 12 points behind. They can see the scoreboard and they can see the clock just ticking, ticking, ticking.
Well, this is sensational rugby league. A great arm wrestle ensuing here. The kicking games from both sides, whilst not perfect, are effective. Castleford, they're working hard to get out of their own danger zone, and Featherstone are working even harder to keep them in there. Terrific game.
Well, they've lost Tanguy. He's got a injury to the inside of his mouth, bleeding from the inside of his mouth. That's why he's still on the sideline getting some treatment and in a lot of pain. So they've lost their big option out wide, their big winger. So they've had to shuffle the pack. Hardman, well, he's fumbled that one. It will be at the expense of a goal line dropout this time.
Oh, that's a shame. Tommy Saxton was just in the eye line of Ian Hardman. Rugby players are told from a young age, give it a nice strong call. If it's yours, shout mine, and then you can release everybody else. It looked as if that was late.
Well, they are watching from everywhere. Just look very safe up there, lads, I've got to say. You almost hope Featherstone, well, if Featherstone score again and they jump up in the air, they're in trouble, Barry, aren't they? Doesn't look all that safe, that they're packed in on the terrace behind the post that Featherstone are defending here. They're crammed in.
Tony, I can only just slightly hear you.
They won the grand final in the championship last year. There was a huge party then. It'll be nothing compared to the celebration that goes on in Featherstone tonight. They'll party long into the night if Featherstone hold on here. They lead by 12. Castleford have spent much of the second half camped out in Featherstone's red zone, and they're in it again here. Darryl Clark is at dummy half on the 3rd of this set of 6. Chase across the line, look one way, past the other. McGoldrick, a bullet past to Griffin. It's forward. It's forward.
And you know what? It is the correct call from Ben Taylor, but the worrying thing for Featherstone is that Castleford are creating chances. It's just the final pass that's letting them down.
Well, Chase was heavily involved there. 36% of Castleford's tries are either scored by or created by Chase. They need him to produce, and last season topped the chart for tackle bust, 40-20s, offloads, carries and meters. He is the key man, and to be honest, Featherstone have kept him pretty quiet, haven't they?
Well, they put bodies in front of his eye line and made him have to make those difficult decisions. Not sure about that, Tez.
I could see you doing that later.
It's the Poznan that's been adopted by Manchester City fans from the Polish side, dancing around with your backs to the action. As the Castleford fans would like to have their backs to the action here, because I can't believe what they're seeing, I should imagine. They're 12 points behind with under 15 minutes left on the clock, and it's fast becoming desperate now. I mean, 15 minutes is still a long time. They've got to score twice, but you'd start to get very concerned.
Well, you would do if you're the coach, you know, but do you know that Castleford could still score a couple of tries? How close have they been in this second half? As I say, it's the final pass that's letting them down.
For a party, the big Samoan winger just having his jaw examined as well, so it looks like they're going to have to do without him for the rest of the afternoon, Featherstone Rovers. But the way this 17-man squad has performed out here has been nothing short of heroic. You've got to hand it to them. They've been examined here in the second half by Castleford. The pressure on the Featherstone Rovers line has been unrelenting. It's been remorseless, relentless, and they've hung on.
All players want the ball when, as I said at half-time, when it's on their terms, they want the ball. They want to carry it forward. Not all teams want to defend, and every player for Featherstone in this second half has had to do that on their own line, and they've had to work really, really hard.
Still you're offside.
Well, Barry, you on Super League Back Chat in the week selected Featherstone to win this game. The rest of us raised our eyebrows, but there's only 14 minutes separating Feb and a famous win here.
They've done everything right, Featherstone, and when they've needed to show some heart, and they've needed to turn up, make it a little bit messy, they've done that. And you feel some anxiety creeping into the Castleford team now.
Hold it.
Clark, dummy half, scored the first try. Looked like it was going to be a cakewalk for Cass when they led 6-0 after 4 minutes. It's turning into a waking nightmare for everyone from the Coliseum. Danny Orr just can't find a way through. The defence is incredible, but you just wonder, can Featherstone keep it up for another 13 minutes, or are they going to crack? Here's Danny Orr, here's Rangi Chase. Chase scrubbers through. Hardman's there, will have to concede a dropout. Oh, he left that very late. What on earth was he thinking of? What on earth was he thinking of? He could have punted that into the railway, and he just stood there and dillied and dallied, and he might, well, have conceded a try. Let's have a look.
Well, Brett Ferris is doing all he can here. I think Ian Hardman has it under control. And I think, to be fair, Brett Ferris has given it an air swing.
He's a lucky lad, Ian Hardman.
Well, he's lucky, but Ian Hardman still kicks that ball dead. So they still get the ball back, Castleford. They still get the ball back, but very, very lucky to get away with that.
He who hesitates is lost, and they almost lost 6 points there. He should have just got rid of it. As it happens, he's got away with it. It's a dropout. But Brett Ferris, had he got a hand to that, Ian Hardman would never have forgiven himself if it had cost Featherstone this Challenge Cup tie. They have to defend another set. Virtually the entire second half has been played in this third of the field. It's been all Castleford. But the amazing stat is they haven't scored a single point in the second half. The only points in the second stanza from the penalty from Liam Finn. Danny Orr, Castleford, well, yes, they were appealing for it very, weren't they? The Featherstone fans behind the post were screaming for something. They didn't get it. Orr is knocked down. Rangi Chase. That's a little short ball, but it's not going to unlock the defence that way. There's nothing doing over there. They've got a couple of tackles left in this sequence of 6. Ryan McGoldrick always likes to produce something. A little goose step. Just drops the ball off to Lockwood. Oh, it's Clark again. And now it's Chase, long ball. There's a try, is there, for Youngquest? Is Nick Youngquest in the corner? Are they on the comeback trail? Has he got it down? Was he in play?
Well, I think he's in play. They're just going to check the grounding now. It's going to go upstairs to Ian Smith. Does Youngquest ground this ball or lose possession? Yeah, that's a try. There's no problem with the grounding of that. Nick Youngquest, he's got his team back into this game.
Try given straight away, but a lot of pressure on the goal kicker. And that's where that penalty from Liam Finn might come in handy here. The gap is now 8. Danny Orr is out there. Having a look at this kick from the sideline. They're back within 8. In his second spell at Cass, Danny Orr, one of the greatest players of the modern era, down at the Coliseum. I don't think he's had many kicks with the pressure on that this one's got. Hasn't kicked a goal all year. Kirk Dixon's normally the man with the golden boot as far as the Tigers are concerned. This is a kick of mammoth proportions to get them back within a converted try. Danny Orr. That is an absolutely magnificent kick. I'll tell you what, that is one of the best Challenge Cup kicks you could ever wish to see. That off the sideline with your team 8 behind, coming into the final 10 minutes or so. Boy, that was big.
Well, just 6 points in this game, and a fabulous pass from Rangi Chase. Cuts out 2 of his teammates, finds it right on the ball. His eyes are looking at the defenders in front of him, and Ian Millward and the rest of the Castleford coaching staff and players know that they're back into this game now.
The lead is 6. The clock shows 69 minutes. What price extra time, I ask you? What price extra time? The Golden Point extra time? You wouldn't offer very long odds against it now, would you?
I'd love extra time. It's been a brilliant game, this. Games like this, Rod, you don't want the final whistle to go when you're watching.
You do if you're Featherstone Rovers supporters watching, Barry.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a very long 10 minutes. This is one of those occasions when you keep looking at your watch as a Featherstone supporter and it's gone forward about 10 seconds and you think it should have gone forward 10 minutes. It seems to have stopped. If you're Castleford, it's going round like a Catherine wheel. A little grubber through. It's still the last tackle, though. It's still the last tackle. Or hoists it high. Saxton's there, Hardman's there. They've left it for each other. Well, there was a potential Laurel and Hardy moment there, wasn't there, as it bounced? But in the end, they've got away with it.
Well, Danny Orr, too much time on that ball. He just had a little look up, seeing exactly where he wanted to place it between Hardman and Tommy Saxton. And they get away with a lucky bounce there. You know, you talk about the fans looking at the watches. Let me tell you, the players will be looking up at that big screen, looking at the seconds tick down.
Well, Featherstone will want to keep this very, very tight here. They won't want any mistakes from here. They want to get to the end of the set, get the ball kicked onto the opposition's goal line and invite them to come from there.
Just finish on their terms, but they can't forget they've still got to play rugby, because you've got to say that looking at Casford, the way that they're defending, the way that they're playing when they have the ball, there's another try in them.
Yep. Well, Grant Millington has gone down there, caught him right on the sweet spot. And
you could see he'd gone then, couldn't you?
He's gone down. And just well to get up onto one knee, actually, there.
Is it a head
clash?
Oh,
goodness.
Nasty head clash with Tommy Saxton.
One last night involving Rob Burrow, Barry, that you were telling about earlier in the Leeds Wakeford game, particularly nasty as well.
Yeah, head clash. Danny Kermond and Rob Burrow clashed heads, and Rob Burrow with a very swollen face. Not sure what the damage is just yet, but Rhinos fans very nervous about that.
Still the last tackle, and Briggs for the second time in this match has had his kick charge down.
Again on the last play, not turning the ball over like they'd like to. So they've lost 20 or 30 yards there.
And that really shouldn't be happening for Featherstone when they've got so many guys that can kick a ball out there, haven't they? They've got options with the boot. It's not that they're a one-man team with kicking. They've got Liam Finn, they've got Johnny Hepworth, so they shouldn't really be being caught, but they have been.
Yeah, they've got Ben Kay as well, but at the end of the day, you've got to give some credit to Casford as well for getting the defenders in the way of that kick. Did he lose that ball?
Drop that.
Well, Josh Griffin shaking his head. He disagrees with referee Ben Fairley. He thought there was interference at the play of the ball.
It doesn't matter what he thinks. He's deemed it as a lost football. It's a scrum down, and they were in a big hurry to pack the scrum, Castleford, to save some time.
Well, big Stu Dickens is in attendance. Recently made his 400th appearance for the club. During those 400 and odd games, I'm sure if Featherstone get this victory, he'd put this game right at the top of his list.
Castleford have won the last 11 meetings between the sides. The last time Featherstone Rovers beat Castleford was in March 1992. They've got a penalty here. They've got a penalty here, and that's exactly what they want. It'll break up the game. The clock's still running.
Well, this Jake Emmett in the second half. He's had a run-in with James Lockwood. And again, another run-in with the Featherstone players.
Yeah, this could be their first win for 20 years against Castleford. They have waited a long time. It was from the days of Paul Newlove and Chris Bibb and Owen Simpson. Featherstone fans will go misty-eyed at the mention of those names. Stuart Jones getting the talking to.
Your clenched fist. Got your hands in as well. Sort it out.
Sort it out, said Ben Thaler. Well, Featherstone more than happy to get the relief of a penalty, another set, and the extra time that came off the clock.
Well, again, good work from the referees, just calming the situation down with Stuart Jones and Jake Emmett, just having a quiet little word with him, saying, look, I saw exactly what you did, just keep it out of the game. We've got 8 minutes to go in this, and it has been an outstanding game.
Still a long time to go, but you wonder whether Featherstone might fancy the drop goal here to go from 6 in front to 7.
Well, Liam Finn's directing his troops from behind the ruck.
Yeah, he's still straight. Yeah, they're keeping it very straight. Stuart Dickens charging forwards within a metre of the line. Finn has dropped deep. Is he going to pull the trigger for a one-pointer? They come to this near side, their left. They've gone a long, long way away from the post, which wouldn't be the tactics you'd want to adopt if you're trying to kick a drop goal. Tommy Saxton carts it towards the post once more. Last tackle, Finn in the pocket. Is this the moment to go from 6 in front to 7? Back to Liam Finn. He's onto his left peg, and he's dropped the goal with his wrong foot. Liam Finn has dropped the goal off his wrong foot, his left foot, and it could be the 1 point, the solitary point, that takes Fed through to the last 16.
Sensational stuff. Liam Finn sets Burrett on his right foot, pops it onto his left, and look at the joyous punches in the air of the Featherstone players. There's still 6 and a bit minutes left. They can't afford to think that that's the game gone. Excellent concentration from the Rovers.
Clever play. He looked up, he knew exactly that Darrell Clark was going to shoot the line. He stepped in, left him nowhere to go. And as you said, Rod, that was a sweet little kick.
Still off his wrong foot, wasn't it? Takes some doing off your wrong foot. Oh, he's almost fumbled the kick up. He has fumbled the kick up. It's backwards. They're all having a go. Keystone Cops. Will somebody get hold of the football? Featherstone have the football.
You know now that Castleford are going to be shooting the line, trying to force the mistake. These are all strong carries now for Featherstone.
They have to score twice. Castleford Tigers, the Super League club, have to score twice. Otherwise, for the 3rd time, they're going out to lower league opposition.
Well, Tez, I'm not sure what Big Stu was doing then. Somebody had a hole in his bucket.
Is the old manning them out there, or is there a genuine injury? I think it's genuine, to be fair.
Yeah. Is it Matty Gale on the floor? Looks like he's got a bang on his lower limb. Is it a twist or a bang?
I think he twists his knee, he holds his knee.
Yeah, those knees,
well, do you know what? He's in absolute agony there, and the only thing he's thinking is, I need to keep hold of the ball. I don't want to drop the ball. So much to admire about our sport and the champion blokes that play it.
Well, Dale will have to come off. He would have wanted to stay on to the bitter end. They'll all want to be out there at the end here. The Featherstone players. This is one of the biggest games of their careers, all of them really, apart from Tommy Saxton, who played in the cup final itself in 05.
Well, they're lucky as well that they can bring on a player like Michael Haley, who's just one of those players who will cart the ball up. When the going gets tough, he will keep turning up for the cause. Even when you know you're going to get banged and you're going to get smashed into the ground. Stuart Dickens doing exactly that, leading from the front. You follow me, lads, I'll lead the way.
You saw Darrell Powell there up in the box. He had a big playoff win over Ian Millwood when Millwood was at Lee last season, but this is a very different kettle of fish. His name never seems to get mentioned when the big Super League jobs are on offer, Darrell Powell, but this would be another big tick on his CV if he pulls this off.
Do you know what? He's happy to be at the Featherstone Rovers. It puts his heart and soul into this club. As I said, they've got a thriving scholarship system going, and Darrell Powell loves working here with the Rovers, and the local community really back and support the team. One of the best coaches outside Super League. I know we keep saying it, but the qualities, obviously the England assistant coach as well.
Chase was on to Chance's arm, and Youngquest just knocked it on. Chase had to Chance's arm with a long ball. He said it went backwards. Ben Taylor had a very different view of that. And Featherstone are inching ever closer to a huge Challenge Cup upset.
Well, you know they are, and now Rangi Chase is chasing the game. Youngquest, it wasn't the best of passes, but again, look what he's confronted with. He looks up straight in front of him, and the defence from Featherstone, they're swarming forward.
Absolutely. We look at the plus column, and we look at the 23 points that they've scored, but they've been heroic in defence.
If you lose, back up.
Defended manfully whenever and wherever they've had to.
Hardman from the scrum.
Surrender!
The key is here not to make a mistake. Don't spill the ball. Just get to the end of the set. Even if they don't make much yardage, it doesn't really matter at this stage, but that's a good strong run from Greg Worthington. He scored one of the tries this afternoon, but that's an invaluable contribution as well. Briggs, Tommy Saxton, over halfway. Ben Kay, and now Haley, and Haley keeping it up the middle. That's where Featherstone want it. They'll get to the end of this set, and then Liam Finn will do the necessary with the boot. Will it come now? Just offloads it on to Andy Kane. This is the last. There is 4 minutes left. Castleford have got to score twice. Finn should not be calling possession, and he's kicked it out on the full.
Oh my word, Liam Finn, with all his rugby intelligence, was thinking, I just want to get the ball off the island. And the urgency and the way that Castleford hurried tells me they haven't given up on this game yet.
Well, if they score from this set, What a finale. There would be some fireworks if it gets to within one score. There's 3.5 minutes left. Castleford have got to score before we get to that. Here is for Golding, on for the injured Richard Owen. Danny Orr drops it off. Hooby, in his first game for almost a year, is still rumbling forward. Clark at dummy half. Scored the first try of this match in the 4th minute. Castleford have had precious little to celebrate ever since. Walker. Clark again, Darrell Clark, a little kick through, should be mopped up by Liam Finn. Even if he concedes a dropout, it's not disastrous, it's going to take more time off the clock. 3 minutes left, Featherstone by 7.
We'll kick on the 4th play, I'm sure Liam Finn won't be in a hurry to get up and kick this ball. The referee calls time off. But they needed to come up with possession, they need another set of 6. Castleford, they've got exactly that. If they're going to go on and win this game, they force 3 goal line dropouts in it, they need to score in this set of 6.
They are going stark raving mad behind those posts, the Featherstone Rovers fans. The shirts are off, the arms are in the air, the ball is in the air from Finn. It's collected by Darrell Clark after a fashion. He offloads, he gets them moving forward again with Millington. As Terry says, you feel that Castleford have to score in this sequence. Time is just ticking away and every second is on Featherstone's side now. Darrell Clark goes from dummy half. They've marshalled him pretty well since that opening try in the first half. And acting halfback this time is Oliver Holmes. Haven't seen Chase in this sequence yet. Now we have Rangi Chase across the line. He's got away from 2 of them. He's still going, Rangi Chase. Can he produce a try? No, not this time. He stays in the field of play by a matter of millimetres.
He's injured as well.
He's hurt. The ball came loose.
It hurts him. Rangi Chase, furious at the attention that he's getting. Rod, sorry, I have to say, I think Ben Thaler's had a fantastic game.
Told to play it, Chase. McGoldrick is tackled. That's the 4th tackle. 2 left here. Got to score or force a dropout. Got to do something here, Castleford. They are sinking fast. Hooby, Danny Orr. Orr away from 1 man, not away from Briggs. An offload that was hewn out of desperation. Is it knocked on? Is it knocked on? Yes, it is knocked on. Yes. And Featherstone think they have won the cup tie.
Well, the first one off Craig Hooby.
Holy moly. I don't like you, that, Tez.
The first one off Craig Hooby. And then all of a sudden, Sam Smean, he jumps on the ball, he loses it. But look at what it means to Tom Saxton and Stuart Dickens. The Featherstone players have worked extra hard today. And let's give them credit, they've come off the back of getting beat by 60 points last week. But I said before the game that they were looking forward and looking ahead to this game.
Well, Featherstone, their players, their supporters believe they have won this cup tie. And they probably have, in all honesty, but I'm sure Darrell Powell isn't assuming anything. There are still 80 seconds left. They've got to get to an end of a set here without making a mistake. That is the key. Run down 5 tackles, get the ball up the other end, and they will have won this cup tie. And they will have beaten Castleford for the first time in 12 attempts, and the first time in 2 decades. The first time in 2 decades that Featherstone have sunk Castleford. And I tell you this, they will celebrate like nobody's business here tonight.
Well, Darrell Powell and Ryan Sheridan, the rest of the coaching staff here at Featherstone Rovers have put a tremendous game plan together, executed by the players to the letter, and when they've had to be desperate, when they've had to show great guts and determination, they've stepped up to the plate. What a great day for Featherstone Rovers.
And it will be only the 10th time in 205 meetings between Super League clubs and those outside the top flight that the underdogs have had their day. Featherstone will be the underdogs that have bitten back here in the Challenge Cup. They're going to knock Castleford out. They're going to knock them out 39 years to the very day that they beat them in the semi-final back in 1973. This is going to be a famous afternoon that they will talk about for a long, long time in these parts. They'll remember the day on the 14th of April 2012, because it is the day that Featherstone Rovers have knocked Super League Castleford out of the Challenge Cup in the last 32. Featherstone under Darrell Powell. Darrell Powell has led his side through to the last 16 of the Challenge Cup. Featherstone have knocked them out 23 points to 16. 17 heroes out there. Rapati, Briggs, Hardman and Worthington scored the tries. Finn kicked the goals and the drop goal that in the end gave them the insurance policy and was enough to get them through.
Well, the game doesn't get much better than that. Wonderful rugby league. And as we say, character shown on every player that had a Featherstone Rovers shirt. Darryl Powell can be rightfully proud of every player that wore the Featherstone shirt today. Fabulous, fabulous game. One to remember.
A proper old-fashioned cup tie. A day when the underdogs had their day. Ian Hardman, the man of the match, and he's down there talking to Brian Carney. Brian.
Let me know how you're feeling. We're back here. Let me know how you're feeling, Ian, after that.
I don't really know what to say, really. I think obviously we got off to a good start. That second half we got a decent lead, but I felt like we defended the whole second half, and it's just testament to our lads, really, how much it meant to them, how much they wanted to work for it, and the feeling's worth it in the end, I'll tell you.
The offence was sensational. Half-time, you're 10 points up. What did Darryl Powell say to you as a team?
Well, basically job half done. I mean, you're going to have to play right to the very end, and that's what we had to do. I mean, with like 5 minutes to go, I think we played a cool head, and we got a drop goal, gives us a bit of breathing space, but really just the defence in the second half and just the willingness to work for each other, especially on our own line. I think that's what got it for us.
Plenty of build-up during the week in this town. You know how much it means to the fans. You can go now and celebrate with them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the biggest crowd we've had here for a while, and it's just absolutely fantastic. I'm just made up for a while.
Ian Hardman, your man of the match. Congratulations in a sensational game.
Cheers, thanks very much. Yeah.
Take care. Right, we've got Terry O'Connor here beside us. Terry, we've seen some cracking cup games in the past. We've seen some cracking Super League games on Sky Sports. That ranks up there with the best of them.
That was absolutely brilliant. The defence that they had, just like, you know, as a player, that much defence on your own line. And there was times when Rangi Chase was going across the line, there was one player in front of him, and then all of a sudden 3 players would turn up from next to no time. And when there was really bad carries that you know you have to carry and you know you're going to get a good hiding, the Featherstone players were all putting their hands up.
I don't know what it was like up in the commentary box. Down here pitchside, you kept thinking they're going to score now. Castleford are going to score, yet time and again Featherstone repelled them.
Well, Brian, they kept on creating opportunities, didn't they? How many opportunities did they create? And then the last pass went to ground, forward pass, knock on, then they'd give a penalty away. All the pressure was there, but today has definitely shown what a good defensive outfit Featherstone are. And everyone was saying, oh, they conceded 60 points, surely they're going to get beaten by a Super League side. That was never ever going to be the case, because Featherstone, they weren't looking at Sheffield last Saturday, they were looking at this cup tie.
Darryl Powell was a man who's won the Challenge Cup as a player, got to the final as a coach. He did his homework on Castleford today.
Yeah, he did. You could see that just let Rangi Chase run across the line. You know what Danny Orr's going to do. He's going to stand back. He's going to be creative. He's going to pull all the strings. Rangi Chase is going to go on. If you force Rangi Chase into making those mistakes, if you pressure Castleford, they're going to get more and more frustrated. Nobody jumped the line, because if you jump the line, you present the hole, you present the opportunities, and then that's when Rangi Chase will exploit those gaps.
Ian Hardman, man of the match at fullback, and a wonderful defensive display from him and for the rest of the side. I want to talk a little bit about Stuart Dickens. He spent 15 years almost unbroken here at the Featherstone club. He's approaching the club record of 440 appearances. I doubt he'll have a day more special than that.
No, I would say, but playing in a prop forward is a very, very tough position. Like making his debut at 17, 18 years of age. He's been here, he's been loyal to the club. I think he only went away to Salford playing in 6 and 7 games. He was back here. His heart is in Featherstone, and today means so much to Stuart Dickens. Knowing that you've beaten the Super League opposition, you're into the next round. They'll be hoping of getting a big tie here at home yet again. And Darryl Powell did deserve it tonight.
Well, that was all about the magic of the Challenge Cup. Sensational Challenge Cup tie. Join us again for more Rugby League on Sky Sports.
Watch all 6 Sky Sports channels on your mobile and online.